Hey guys, I'm Sam.
I'm Jody.
Welcome back to our channel, Razor Focused. We're so glad you joined us. And today, what are we doing, Jody?
Well, instead of razoring, we're gromming.
Grommy, grom. You saw Miss Jody unbox exhaust just last week, so we're waiting on stuff for our trailer. And yes, we are still a razor channel. We're just an everyday channel. But we're going to be doing some razoring stuff here soon. Today's a beautiful day to get out in the garage, so we said let's go ahead and get the Grom going. And we're going to do that right now. Okay, so we're going to try some garage science here. So we have a Honda Grom, as you guys know, down there. And we have an exhaust that we're going to put on it, down right there. And we got Miss Jody back there holding something. And one of the things that we were able to find a lot of is how to install it in Yoshimura and the install process, which is awesome. You're going to see that too from us, not professionals. But one of the things I've heard a lot of is it louder? Well, I don't know. So we're going to do somewhat of a scientific, non-scientific way. In church life, we use sound meters to check our microphones and stuff. And Miss Jody is holding one of those. And so we are going to see what it does. You can see it kind of, let's see if we can angle there. You can see it doing some stuff as we're talking. And we're going to do, she is standing on a blue piece of tape. And we put that blue piece of tape on the motorcycle ground as well. And we're going to start it, stock, rev it, stock. And then we'll do the same thing with the new pipe and see if it makes a difference. So let's find out. All right, over here to the motorcycle. Let's turn this on. This is a cold start. Love that's fuel injected. And we're going to go ahead and make sure it's in neutral. Yes. And we'll start it. And just going to let it idle for just a second there. And again, you can see idling, not very loud there. Obviously, it's only a 125. So Jody, what you want to do with that is point it toward the, hold it where you're going to remember where you're at next, on the next part of this video. And we are at 88.9 idling. Okay, so can you hold the phone and record that? There we go. So now I'm going to give it a few revs. And let's put this real quick on max. Now I think it already is. You already got it. You're amazing, Jody. And let's see how to give you more.
The highest it got was 104.8.
Okay, so 104.8, and we are at a garage distance of about 12 feet, maybe 10 feet. But we're gonna see now what it does when we do the other. Okay guys, so now it's time to take off this support bracket. That's a bolt that's holding this section here. It's all one piece. Actually, it's two pieces. And there's one right here, and then the two bolts on the header. So this one here is it's just a clamp. So they do make a Yoshimura slip-on where you can do just this section if you want to. But we're gonna do the whole exhaust system. So, all right guys, so let's go ahead and loosen up some bolts here. And these are 11, and they're only like 18 foot-pounds is what the spec is. I've heard some people say that's way too tight. We'll see as we get going. But I loosened up this clamp here, and now I'm going to loosen up this exhaust one and put an 11 behind it. If I can get, I think that's 11. Oh, the back might be a little bigger. The back I think is 12, and actually they're 12, not 11. So let me grab a 12. All right, so 12 everywhere else, 11 on that mid clamp. And yep, we're 12 and it's already loose. So I'm just going to leave that there. It should be pretty easy, pretty straightforward. We'll put the nut with the bolt here just so I don't lose anything. Not that you guys would ever lose anything, but I tend to. Actually, what I'm going to do, because there's one more and I can see myself dropping this, I'm going to leave that like so. And then there's one right under here that I need to get to. go. Sorry, my bald head's in the way. And I'm just feeling if that's a set nut or a nut.
What is it?
Looks like it's a weld nut there, so we're just gonna take that off there. And I don't recommend using power tools on something this small. You could really tear something up. And you can see the chrome on that bolt still like brand new. We keep it in the garage. You know, we baby our stuff. And this should just slide out. Ta-da!
Oh wow, that's so cool.
Man, that's heavier than I thought it would be. You know what? Let's grab that Yoshimura and compare it just while we're hand holding her.
Woohoo.
So give me a second here. Okay, guys. So that is so much cooler than that. And wow, yeah, definitely.
Is it a lot lighter?
It's probably 2.5 pounds at least. 2 pounds. Which you go 2 pounds. That's not much. Well, when you're talking a little bitty thing, that's like me losing 2 pounds instantly. I think the whole thing is like 5 pounds difference. And yeah, you should hold that.
Okay.
Okay, you got that?
Got it.
Okay, let's take it back here.
Okay.
Let's check out. Ready?
Oh, see, that is heavier.
Yeah.
That's a lot heavier. That's maybe 2.5, 3 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
using our redneck scale
Redneck
there.
scale, yeah.
But me, I am excited about this carbon fiber. And before we turn anything on, we got to remember, got to wipe everything down with rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, to get all our fingerprint stuff off, because once you bake it in, it's there forever. And I don't want a handprint on my beautiful new exhaust. So cool. So let's keep going. Let's take the rest of this off.
Do you need to wear gloves to install it to keep the oil off?
I may do a wipe off before.
Okay.
And then use gloves just for that reason, because it may be a little hard to get in some of these areas. Okay, so now let's take off, and I'm going to get down here on my tuckus.
Careful the kickstand.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to take off. Yeah, see, that's not very tight. Just a little motor here, so I would say be careful not to over.
You could over torque pretty easily.
Well, you could really strip something out pretty quick. One, it's new, and so it's got less than, I think we're right about 600 miles, so I think that's part of it. But also, when I was working on the Harleys, I remember they were low, and you could really strip out something, and that would not be good. And they say, Yoshimura says that we reuse the exhaust gasket, so it should be good. So let's see here. I've got all the bolts. There we go.
That was easy.
That was easy. Look how little that thing is. And look, here's the catalytic converter. It's a little warm. Honda catalytic converter. Ha! A little bitty thing.
Wow.
So we're gonna just set that aside. Yeah, we're gonna clean those up and save those. I may never ever use those again, but probably won't. But we'll save them anyway. So let me just look under there with the gasket. Sorry, I gotta get my head down there. And that still looks good. I'll show you what I'm looking at here.
Got it? It's zoomed.
And right here is the gasket, and it is a crushed gasket, so it is supposed to be crushed. Everything looks good.
Did something drip?
Nope. Looks good. So let's go ahead and come on back. That was it. That's all there is to take that exhaust off. So I'm just cleaning off any kind of grime real quick on this old one, so when we store it. And you say, man, Sam, that's just trash. You'll never use it. Well, I don't know that, and so I'm going to put it away.
Are we that age now, honey? We don't know if we're going to use it again?
Well, again, and I'll tell you what I don't know is not so much I will probably never use it again. Let me be very clear about that. But also, we're on some Grom channels, and sometimes there's some young people that are upgrading, and they did some changes, and they want to kind of get it back to stock and say, oh no, I need a stock exhaust. Anybody out there have one? We'll have one. So, and soon we're going to take off this fender, and there's some more boxes there that you're going to see soon. Just playing around with it, it's a fun little toy. So let's get back on this exhaust. I'm talking too much about other things. All right, doesn't that look so cool? It's time to put that on. That looks so much better than the other. Let's get that going. Okay, so I've got my gloves on. I'm gonna go ahead and just put some good old rubbing alcohol they recommend using. Just cleaning this off, because any handprints, any oil, they give you a real big warning on the instructions, say before you start, because you've got to run this through a heat cycle. And
what does the heat cycle do?
it's going to change the color of this. It's going to kind of seed everything in, and the color changes in the process. And while that heat cycle is setting everything up, the coatings, it will burn in any oils that you have on your hands. And so I don't want a big old fingerprint or a handprint on this. And we'll do it again once we have it on the bike itself. But see, like right now, it's just easier to get to everything, obviously.
So what color does it change to?
Almost
Does it get a little
bronze,
okay?
which would be kind of cool since I've got gold wheels. So
Yeah, and you have kind of the gold
the
front
forks,
bars, yeah.
Yeah, the forks are gold, the tires are gold, the wheels are gold. One of the reasons we wanted this specific model is just because it came with those little details. So it's $100 more for the SP model. It is not faster. It is not more performance. It just has a different look. It's kind of an old school 70s look, an 80s look, I think, and I liked it. So
Well,
we couldn't buy the wheels for $100, and it has the gold and bronze brake calipers, and just little things that give it a different look. That's truly all it is just a look.
I didn't realize it was gonna turn like a bronze color. That's cool. That's gonna be prettier than the silver that it is now.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be prettier than the old one too, but it should also have, not only is it aesthetics, and also the way it performs. They say 10% more horsepower, 10 to 14% is what people say without a tune. Don't need a tune for just an exhaust. And some of you might say, well, then why did you get the Yoshimura? It's expensive, and if you're not going to tune it. Well, we may not yet. Later on, we might. At some point, you also have to realize it's only a 125. It will only ever be a 125 unless I change out cams and heads and pistons. And I don't know that I want to do that. I mean, at some point, you go, I don't want to spend more than the bike is worth. If I wanted a bigger bike, should have got a bigger bike at some point. And the 125 for what we're doing with it is really perfect around town. We're not on the highways or anything, and it works really good. And you know, the 125s worldwide are everywhere. It's here in the U.S. that we use the 1,000 cc's. In some countries, you got to have permits for anything over 300. So 125 is very popular, and obviously 300 are as well. But this has been a blast little bike. If it gains a little bit of horsepower, it gains a little bit of horsepower. So let's keep putting it back on. Okay, so we opened up one of the packages with the instructions, and you have the bung cover and some springs and a spring installer. This thing just grabs on, just grabs on and helps you pull is what that does.
That almost looks like a bed spring.
So you're not having to use use your hands or a pair of pliers. So, and one is shorter than the other. We'll go through that install of which one goes where. But there's also a bung, and this bung is for an O2 sensor later on. Goes here, and we're not going to be putting in an O2 sensor right now. If you ever do a big tune, again, like I said, we probably won't. But if you're going to put that bung in, which it comes with, what I recommend you do is put a little bit of an anti-seize, because this is aluminum, and if you ever work with aluminum, you know that it will seize itself to itself.
So it kind of welds itself.
And you definitely don't want to be fighting that, trying to take that off. It's a pain. So yes, I know I probably have a little much on there, but I'm gonna wipe it down here. and just take that off. But we're gonna just put that on, and we'll wipe it down here in a second.
That sound, yeah.
That sound, yes. And we're just gonna wipe that down here, and this way.
If you ever want to take it off,
If
it
I
won't
want
be
to.
like frozen.
Yep, and I'm going to get a pair of channel locks here real quick, and you can see I've already got some oil on this from the anti-seize, but I have got this secured. We've got anti-seize on it, and I keep smearing anti-seize. So we will get that good and clean. And we're going to do again a full-on wipe down here in a second once it's installed. But we don't want any of that. You can see already anti-seize goes everywhere. Probably should have done it first before I wiped that one down, but it's okay.
You want new gloves?
No, it's not the gloves, it's just all over the pipe.
Okay.
The stuff, just a little goes a long way. It's probably put too much, no big deal. But it's on there, at least now we can take that off if we need to. So now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and just get these started. Slide this back up. And again, I'm not going to torque down anything at this point, but I am going to do one more thing, because I did hear someone say, hey, they have a problem with these backing out, and I hope that's not the case. But what I am going to do is put a little bit of this, I like the gel so it doesn't ooze off, blue thread locker. Don't use the red.
You'll never get it off.
You can. Red is with heat. So red takes heat to take off. Blue is classified as removable. So
it just takes force?
Just force, yes. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of lay down here just so I can make sure I get it right inside there where I want it.
Careful, you're on the
And that should pull it right in.
You're on the peg, and I didn't want you to scuffle.
And I'm just going to put these hand tight. And these again are supposed to go to 18 foot-pounds. And I've heard that's super tight as well, but we're going to see. If it feels too tight, we'll leave it at 15. Many have said 10 to 15, and factory spec says 18. But we'll see what the good old torque thing says here. But right now we're just kind of putting this on hand tight to make sure we're where we need to be. And see, you got a little bit of swivel right now because we are not tight, and that's okay. We want to put everything together. So let's go back now to the next piece. All right, let's get the mid pipe on, and let's see here how this goes. Boom, 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 boom.
It looks like a trombone. Trumpet.
If it goes like so, well, actually, it goes like so. And you can tell where it goes by where the bracket goes. Now, my question is, does it go in front? Yes, it does. I gotta get that on there. There we go. That goes like so. That's so cool. This is called a torque tube. So basically it's adding distance without adding a longo pipe. So we're gonna...
And what does the pipe distance do? Like a longer pipe is gonna make...
Adding more torque.
Which makes it faster.
Which gives it a little more oomph.
Okay.
You know, a friend of mine, you guys will see him on a video one day. His name's Jesse. He always says, horsepower is how fast you hit a wall. Torque is how much you push the wall. So, I'm like, okay, so that's actually a pretty good an analogy. So, in other words, me, 200 pounds being the wall, horsepower helps you keep speed. Torque gets you up to speed. Has to move that. So, all right, look at this. Look at this.
That really looks good, baby.
It does. And you know what? Before I even go there again, and cool, just so you know, Yoshimura, thank you, stickers. Woo-woo. Yoshimura put some stickers in there.
Love a good sticker.
All right, so one more time, I want to just do a little more, again, wiping here on the pipe that is, well, it's easier to get to before I put the muffler on itself.
I think the front bend up by your right foot
Yeah, I'm
has
gonna
a smear on it.
go ahead and
I
just
can
kind of
see.
do a little,
Not that one.
I'd almost start
Yeah.
front back here.
Okay. Right there is where I saw something, so I was like, ooh.
Yeah, right where I was messing with that stuff.
And then
Okay.
below it, right there, yeah.
See if we can get in here. And again, we'll do this again here in a moment, but just while I have the muffler off. Okay, so let's leave this one aside for my rubbing alcohol. Now let's put and again, I just kind of skimmed through the instructions. Don't be like me, read the instructions.
Well, but you've done motors and different things, and so you see how things fit together.
Yeah, I'm kind of a show me guy too. Maybe you guys aren't, but I am. And again, I want to show you the inside of that. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very cool. So let's see here now if we can get this thing fitted.
What do the grooves in there do?
That's all the muffler. That's what controls sound and makes tonality of sound.
Just curious.
See, I'm just kind of pushing up on this. Oh, man, look at that.
That
So
fits.
pretty.
That looks really cool, honey.
So cool.
Yeah, it's not
Righteous.
pretty.
No, I'm sorry. I'm like 50, so pretty is a word. So again, I've got everything hand tight now, and
That's all the bolts.
that's all the bolts. Not a whole
Even
lot.
the one that was on the floor.
All of them. That's
That's
all the bolts.
awesome.
And so now what we have to do is put some springs on, and these springs obviously say Yoshimura. So they go in the back side here,
Where no one will
Yeah.
ever see the word.
or no one will ever even see the springs, but the springs kind of hold everything together and pull everything tight. So
Oh yeah, I see the little hook.
there's a loop here and a
Yeah.
loop here, and then there's another loop back here and here. So it kind of just squeezes the pipes together versus using pipe clamps. It pulls them together. So
That's cool.
let me make sure I know which ones go where. So give me a second here. I have to look at the instructions. Okay, so before we put the springs on, Jody, because once we put the springs on this area, we're not going to be able to clean it very good. So again, I'm going back with the alcohol. And again, some of you are going, hey, it's no big deal. You know, a handprint on my exhaust fingerprint would drive me crazy.
Or a streak.
A streak. Now, again, I know, like I had little scratches on mine just from road grime and stuff, but I don't want that. I want to keep it as nice as I can. And so I'm just
This
doing
is
it a
the
little more.
third time you've wiped it, which, I mean, it takes that because you're putting your hands on it when you're putting it on.
Yeah, and so we're just cleaning it up again. I think we're good. So
Now, you were saying the pipe will bronze, will the back part bronze as well, the muffler part?
that I don't know. I mean, honestly, I do not know. So I don't know if we're going to do the heat cycle today, but we just might. It's a beautiful day, so I may just go for a quick 15-minute run. It says to run it for 15 minutes. And in that 15 minutes, it's called a heat cycle, varying your temperatures. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that
Yeah, because I want to see it.
and just see what it does. So let's start torquing some bolts down. Let's put the springs on, and then we'll torque everything down.
Yay.
Be interesting. This is this little spring on a swivel here as well. It says Yoshimura on there, I'm assuming. That's their logo. It has this tool, and it squeezes this section in. It says the short one goes on the muffler side. So we're going to give this a try, and I know it's kind of hard to see, Jody. You may have to change your position.
I have a view.
And it goes right over here. And this is where it's going to get a little interesting without scratching everything here. Oh, let's see here. How can I do this without pushing the bike? There we go. Come on, get in there.
it has to.
It's the angle here.
Yep.
Try not to scratch anything is what I'm doing. It's got some oomph to it, but I'm also just trying not to scratch anything.
Yeah.
So just where, I wonder if I change my angle here. Hold on. Maybe I go this direction if I can fit it in here.
I'll pull it from the other way.
There we go. That was better. And this little rubber thing just went. Maybe that's just there to stop your fingers from getting smashed when it pops.
Pull it, yeah.
Because obviously it's not big enough for that. But I'm just going to move that to the middle. So now that spring is on, and there's another one on the back side here.
Now, do you have to crimp the hook at all?
Nope, it's pulling. It's pulling tight.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna go to the other side where I can actually see it. Okay, so actually hand me the phone, Jody. I'm gonna show a little different view here. So, woo, that's where we're going. Those right there, and that is right behind the kickstand. And so that's where we're gonna put that spring right there. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we are again with our little nifty hook.
That hook tool is cool.
Oh, I don't see how you do it without it. You could use a pair of pliers, but really hurt yourself. I don't want to move the whole bike.
Right, I can see it stretching.
There we go.
Nice.
All done. Now it's going to torque it up, one more wipe down, and run it for a heat cycle.
Woohoo!
I'm going to go get a couple of white wipes.
Here's where the other spring was, from a little different angle. This is the first one we put on that hooks to the exhaust part, and then the bike here.
Okay, so now time to torque. We're going to start at the front and work our way back. And 18 foot-pounds is what's recommended by Honda for the exhaust. Now, I have a 3/8 snap-on torque wrench that goes down to 20 foot-pounds, does not go to anything lower than that. And then I've got a inch-pound that goes up to 200 inch-pounds, which technically is 216 inch-pounds. So I'm going to start at 185 inch-pounds and see how we feel from there.
Which is a little more than 15.
A little more than 15, yes. Because 15 was 180.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Let me get this hand tight here again. And we're going to go back and forth here just to kind of seat this in here.
Back and forth left and right, or back and forth?
Yes, back and forth left and right. I'm going to change my position. Sorry, folks.
You're good.
And I'm going to have to get me a little extension because I want to wedge myself in there. Okay. Got a little extension there I'm just going back and forth here, side to side. Okay. I think
That's going to be tight enough.
let's see here. That was 15. Let's go up now to 190. See how that feels. I think it feels good though. I don't want to over tighten, that's for sure.
Yeah, because if you over tighten, they can get stripped. Is that right?
Oh yeah. So let's go and go up to
200.
200, which was
Basically 17.
yeah, that's fine. Perfect. So we were torqued there pretty darn close to that 18. That's as high as my torque wrench will go, so I don't want to go any higher than that. I don't want to go by feel. You'll never feel what that is. So now we're going to do the same thing on this mid bolt. And we'll check the torque
And that's
here.
like right behind the
Right behind the
peg.
loop, right behind the peg, yep. And again, you can see how easy this is.
This isn't bad at all.
There we go. And now we're going to go to the back side here, put our ratchet behind it. And again, we could have done this in half the time, but you know us, we're always talking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when you torque, one of the things people tend to do is they tend to like hold up here. The way a torque wrench is designed is this is the area where you hold for leverage to torque. So when you see me put a hand there, it's just to kind of stabilize, but your torque is done by the leverage. Oop. Maybe that wasn't 11 back there. I think it is. There we go. So we are now torqued all the way through. Again, we're going to do our final wipe down. And you can see I've wiped down the whole process several times. And again, it's just because I don't want any
stray marks.
And I'm sure there'll be some crazy marks. I mean, but this is not a cheap exhaust by no means. You guys know that. My lovely bride got me this for Valentine's Day since I was her Valentine's.
Oh, you've been my Valentine for 32 years.
32 years, yes. So, all right, that looks good. Just working my way over here. Getting everything wiped down. And I think we look good.
I'm curious to see what it looks like, the patina that you're talking about.
Yeah, so as they say, it should change color there. So I'm gonna move some of this trash here, and then we're gonna get going on a heat cycle. But woo, Yoshimura! Well, that was easy.
That was so cool.
Got it installed, and now it's time for heat cycle.
Woohoo.
And while we start it, we're gonna see what this sounds like. Now, heat cycle, it says we ran for about 15 minutes or more. We're gonna just take it for a little putter for 15 minutes and run it through some various RPMs and see what that does. So let's start it, get the sound meter on it, and then we'll sound meter it again. But I'm curious to see what it looks like after the patina, so
Me too.
we'll see. All right, Jody's back on her little piece of tape. The Grom has not moved. We're gonna go ahead and turn this on. We got the key already on. Oh, ooh, I like that already.
89.5 on the idle.
Wow, it already sounds a deeper tone. That's really cool. It sounds so much better already. And I'm gonna let that idle for a bit before we give it a few revs there. But I already like the sound of that better. Let's see a sound here. Get a little rev here. Oh, hey, wait, you gotta see this. You gotta check it out. Let me zoom in here. Folks, you gotta see this. So it definitely sounds a lot better. Okay, Jody, you gotta hold the meter there.
Max was 109.3.
But let's put it here. Hold the phone.
Okay.
We're going to give it a few revs there.
More revs. Here we go. We got up to 120.4.
Oh, yes. Man, that sounds so cool.
Whoa.
Man, it was blowing Jody's hair back at full rev. That's awesome. Let's see if we can show that again. Okay, let's see here. Well, let's take it for a little run. Let's go take this for a cycle.
Woohoo! Heat cycle, here we go.
Gas here.
So cute. Hello, Grom. It's so much fun. Can hear it coming now. love it, baby?
So much better.
Very cool.
Unbelievable how fast it gets with RPMs.
Woo!
And I feel it when I'm taking off. It's like instantly I got to shift to second gear. So. Oh my goodness! All I can say is wow. You can see the color already starting to change. I did a 20-minute heat cycle. It was just so fun. 20 minutes went by so much faster, but you can see the color changing already.
I think it's going to continue to patina as you use it.
I
And the
think-
heat cycles in.
I think you're right, but wow, what a difference. Oh my goodness, Jody, what a difference. It's like a new bike. It really is.
Yay! I'm glad he likes his Valentine's Day present.
All I did was put an exhaust on, and they claim 10 to 14% more horsepower. It's only like 7 or 8 horsepower as it is. That 10% makes a big difference. I'm 199 pounds, woohoo, today. Hopefully that'll go lower. But instantly, it's like I got to shift into second. It gets up to RPM so much faster. The torque is definitely better. When you shift gears and you gun the throttle, it throws you back, which is unheard of for a 125. But wow,
You happy with your upgrade?
smile meter, huge. I mean, it's really, really awesome. You hear the sound difference. I hope that you enjoy our crazy adventures. We're so glad that you're along the ride with us. We're just real people serving a real God in a real world, having fun as we go through this life together. And I hope that you get outdoors, get in the garage, do something together. I don't care what you do. Do something together. Go for a walk, watch a movie, go to dinner. Just do something together. Have fun in the adventure that God has you on. So, again, keep joining us. We have some more boxes to open here soon for the little Grommy Grom as we wait on other parts for the trailer. And we're going to have a Razor adventure here soon. We're planning lots of things. We're just in a holding pattern, just like life happens. So excited.
Yay!
I pray that you have an amazing and blessed every day.
Stay razor focused.